Hi guys, I'm Juliet, aka Jet, and this is Jet Studies Buddies. Welcome to my channel where you can learn all that you need to know about learning disabilities. So, today we're going to learn about the stats or statistics of learning disabilities. But before we get started, I just want to clarify that, if you're still not sure about the background information about learning disabilities, I made an earlier video called The Basics of Learning Disabilities that covers questions like what's the difference between ADHD and ADD. It also covers questions like what's the difference between learning disabilities and learning differences? What are the different types of learning disabilities? So if you're still wondering those questions, or even if you think you know the answers, I really recommend that you go check that out either before or after this video, just to really richen your understanding. So with that being said, let's begin the stats. Quick shout out to understood.org, which is an amazing website. Just type in understood.org. It'll take you straight there to this organization dedicated to supporting those with learning disabilities. They are incredible, in my opinion. I think they not only provide very valuable information, but organize, format, and target it in a way that is really appealing to younger audiences, both, teens, children, and young adults. I'm constantly amazed by, the different videos that they have with different people, who have learning disabilities, who are just reaching out, sharing their experiences, providing tips, different things for all different learning differences, and I just think it's a really valuable and important resource, and I encourage everyone to go check it out. I also got most of my statistics from there because, again, they just provide so much awesome information. So, 1 in 5 children in the U.S. have learning and thinking differences like dyslexia and ADHD. I think it's a really important statistic because it shows just how prevalent learning challenges are. I know that a lot of people who have learning challenges often feel that they're alone, but this statistic proves that you're not. 1 in 16 public school students have IEPs for learning disabilities or other health impairments. 1 in 42 public school students have 504 plans. Students, clearly don't often receive the support that they may need, and that is evident in the way that there is 1 in 5 children who have these learning disabilities, or differences, and only 1 in 16 have IEPs and only 1 in 42 have 504s. If you're wondering what those are, IEPs stand for Individualized Education Plan, and that's a really accurate way to explain them. The name itself helps a lot. It is just that, an educational plan. It is a plan the school makes with your parents and sometimes you to help provide accommodations and specialized instruction that you may need because of a condition that you have. These work for learning disabilities, thinking differences, as well as other health issues like diabetes or just a wide range of conditions and diseases. For diabetes, you might need to go leave a test to check your pump, something like that, and they provide those accommodations so you don't lose test time and things like that. 504s work very similarly. They're just a little less extensive, provide a little less accommodations, among a few other marginal differences. I've personally had both, so but beyond that, it really does prove a lot that 1 in 5 children have learning and thinking differences, yet only a small subset receive specialized education or accommodations. And we're not even counting the millions of children with learning and attention issues that aren't diagnosed. My older sister, who's in her 30s now, she wasn't diagnosed until she was an adult, so there are so many children that have to struggle through school without knowing why, which is just terrible, but it really does show the scope of, children not having access to support. To kind of further that along, only 30% of general educators feel strongly that they can successfully teach kids with learning disabilities. This leads me to believe there's probably not enough information and training for supporting kids with learning disabilities. I've certainly had teachers who I feel are really struggling with that and really struggling with supporting kids and understanding that they do need different types of instruction and that they deserve support and they're not any less intelligent for needing that different type of instruction and different type of accommodations. I also, really admire educators and understand that they have a very difficult job. It's just, further proof to me that they need further support and further help. So to me, I consider the next statistics to be consequences of the earlier statistics I just cited. So, students not receiving enough support and teachers not receiving enough information and training. This to me kind of demonstrates and sets up the next statistics. For instance, that helps explain why 1/3 of students with IEPs for learning disabilities or other health impairments have been held back a grade. Repeating a grade raises the risk of dropping out. Students with learning disabilities drop out of high school at nearly 3 times the rate of all students. The top reason students with learning disabilities drop out, 57% cited disliking school or having a poor relationship with teachers or peers. I also think there's a really strong social stigma, and here are some statistics to back that up. 33% of classroom teachers and other educators believe these challenges are sometimes just laziness. 43% of teachers say they wouldn't want parents 43% of parents say they wouldn't want others to know if their child had a learning disability. 48% of parents believe incorrectly that kids grow out of learning differences. A lot of these misconceptions I do address in my earlier video. I would like to say, for the record, it's not laziness. Kids do not need to work harder. That is not the problem. It's not about, and learning disabilities are also not vision or hearing problems. They're not an intellectual disability. Those are just not what that is. And it's really shown that they just think and learn differently, and that doesn't necessarily mean they think less or at a lower level than other people, which is a really common misconception. Again, I addressed some common misconceptions in my earlier video, which is linked to the description down below. So, 76% of college students with learning disabilities say they didn't tell their college that they have a disability, and by law, they can't ask for accommodations without disclosing their disability. 81% of young adults with learning disabilities have not made their employers aware of their disability, and only 5% say they get accommodations in the workplace. And then you pair that with 48% of parents believing incorrectly that their kids grow out of learning differences. So to me, it kind of just shows that it is not easier to find support when you're older. It's actually harder, which is really unfortunate to me. And there are so many people who feel that they can't disclose their college, whether they're college students or older, they can't disclose their learning disability, and they can't advocate for themselves if they don't disclose it. And I just think that the stigma of learning disabilities plays such a role in people not getting support that they may need, not feeling understood, and not really feeling isolated by the education system. I think these statistics really richened my understanding and deepened it of the world and social stigma surrounding learning disabilities. I've always kind of felt like, people do kind of not think or talk about them enough, and now these statistics have really prompted my decision to involve myself with them, with this. And I also created a workshop to help kids spark their love of learning, as well as develop their own personalized strategies to learn independently and from a young age, along with working and considering their learning differences. And I just really want to spread this information out, spread this message. So if this in any way helped you, as this information has helped me, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe. Thank you for listening. please feel free to share this with anyone you know, your sister, your friend, your mother, I don't even care. Just share it, and thank you so much for watching again.